Hello guys, welcome once more to class online. Now take note of this. If you've ever anything about photo emission or thermal emission, that's what I can also call harmonic emission, and you just don't understand what the whole stuff is all about, this is the video where we discuss that and we clarify that. Also, if you've ever wondered if you've seen tankers or big trucks have chains behind them, like just one chain behind it, and the chain is dragging on the floor as the vehicle is moving, and you've wondered why is that happening now, and you don't know, in this video we shall be tackling a question that will help to explain that also. Now don't forget that this is Jamb Physics 2015 and I'm Tutor Dami. We shall be solving question number 31 to number 35, and we shall be bastardizing Jamb. And let's check out number. Don't forget that if you learn something from this video, click on like button. We have more questions to send to you, more content to send to you that will better help you deal with physics. Let's check number 31. It says when impurities are added to the semiconductors, the conductivity of the semiconductor what? Now, if you have impurity on a conductor, now let's take it practically. If you have impurity on a conductor, what happens to the conductor? Like if you go home and you have a boiling ring, you have a boiler, and the boiler has impurity, like the boiler is rusted, will it increase its conductivity or decrease, or increase then decrease, or remain constant? So what I'm saying is that like most of us have a boiler at home, or boiling ring, what we call boiling ring. Now if the boiling ring is rusted, will it boil fast? Will it boil better? Will it boil water better, or will it lower its boiling strength, or will the boiling strength remain the same for that boiler when it is rusted? That impurity is on it, because rust is impurity. Now what do you think might be correct? Is it decrease, increase then decrease, or increases or remains constant? Do you have any idea which one might be right? If you don't know, I'm going to tell you. Now here it is. Now we have the electrical conductivity of a conductor will decrease with an increase in impurity. That is natural, right? Here is a plot showing the variation of electrical resistivity with composition, impurity addition for a various copper alloy. Now actually I don't need that. What I need is just the first line. The electrical conductivity of a conductor will decrease with an increase in impurity. That is just it. Now actually that can be shown graphically, but I couldn't bring up the graph into this video. Now, but however, notice that if your boiler or your boiling ring is rusted, it will boil less faster. It will be weaker. The boiling strength will become weaker because of the presence of the impurity. So impurity decreases the boiling ability of the semiconductor, and that is the answer is simple and total and absolute decrease. It decreases the conductivity of the semiconductor, and that is A is the correct answer. Let's check out number 32. The process through which free electrons leave the surface of hot metal is known as what? This is the definition of, is it photo emission, harmonic emission, photon emission? There is nothing called photon emission, electron emission. Now which one do you think? Now both photo emission and harmonic emission are still electron emission. They are both releasing electron, but photo emission has to do with light, because photo means light, and harmonic came from the word thermal. Thermal means heat. So that means this question is talking about hot metal. That means it is a harmonic emission. Now two of them are processed by which, now they all have the same formula, but just a slight difference. As for harmonic emission, which is the answer to this question, it is the process through which free electrons leave the surface of hot metal. Okay, that's the definition of harmonic emission. That means if you have a metal and you make it hot and it releases electrons because it is hot, that is a practical example of harmonic emission, and that is the way X-rays are made. X-rays are made by heating metal and causing them to release electrons. Okay, and you know those electrons can X-ray the human body, can pass through the body, and also draw check the bone and check where there's any crack. Okay, that's X-ray. Okay, now that's harmonic emission. X-ray work by the principle of harmonic emission by heating metal and causing them to release electrons. That's the definition of thermonic emission. But photo emission, I said before that photo means light. Photo emission is the same definition but a slight difference. The process through which free electrons leave the surface of not Earth now. Now, the difference between thermonic and photo emission is this word Earth. Thermonic is Earth, but in photo emission is the process by which free electrons leave the surface of metals after they have been exposed to ultraviolet ray. So the difference is the word photo means light, and that light in photo emission is called ultraviolet light, and that is the meaning of photo emission. So it is the process through which free electrons leave the surface of metals when they are exposed to ultraviolet ray, and that is the meaning of photo emission. And that's what you have when you see an automatic door in some Mr. Biggs or whatever, fertilizer and so on. When you get towards those restaurants or eateries and you get close to them, when you get close to the door opens on its own. It is by the principle of photo emission. There is a sensor or a photo cell inside that door that senses light. Photo emission deals with light, and that is ultraviolet light ray. Okay, coming from you, it deals with light. So that light that comes from you, you block that light. When you block the light, it senses it and then it opens. And that is what we talk about when we talk about photo emission. But thermonic emission is the one that deals with all metal releasing electron, and that is the answer for number 32. So this is the process ether. Okay, when it is heated, it produces electron flow and is bridged, and then there's flow of current in this circuit, in this system, in this vacuum, and that is the answer for number 32. Thermonic emission. Number 33, the production of pure spectrum could easily be achieved using a what? Now, what do you use to make pure spectrum? Do you have any idea? Now, when you hear the word spectrum, you are talking about light splitting into the 7 colors. Roig beef. Okay, Roig beef are the 7 colors of white light. That's red, orange. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Now, but what makes light split? If you want to split light into 7 colors, you must use these things. One, you must use a converging lens. This is S. That S means source. When the light comes from the source, it will open and it will spread out. It will diffract. But with this lens will keep the light from scattering, and it will make the light to converge. That means to go from scattering into to go straight. And that's the function of the converging lens. It makes the light to converge. That means to converge on this triangular prism. Now, the function of the triangular prism is to split the light into the 7 colors. Prism, when pure light or white light enters prism, it separates, and that process is called spectrum. The splitting of light into 7 colors is called spectrum. So now this makes spectrum. Can you see the colors? Red, violet, and so on. These are lights made, but this light here is not pure, because it is only one converging lens and one prism. To have a pure light, you must have 2 converging lens and 1 prism, and that's what we have here. From the source, the light splits or scatters, but the prism holds it down and makes it travel straight to the converging lens holds it down and makes it travel straight to the prism, and the prism splits it into 7 colors, and then it comes out this way. But it is also not pure unless another prism takes the light that is coming out, that's the 7 colors, and makes it to travel in a converging manner. That means the light is still, what I'm saying is that the light that comes out from the prism here is still scattered a little, because the converging lens here makes it to become straight. But when the prism work on it, it scatters it again a little. So the light here is still not pure, it's still scattered. So it's not going to bring a pure light. But when the light comes out from the prism and there's another lens to help bring it together, then the light will now form a pure spectrum here. So that means for you to have a pure spectrum, you need to have 2 converging lenses and 1 prism. The function of the converging lens is to arrest the light so that it won't scatter. Then the function of the prism, the function of the 60 degrees prism is to help to push the light into spectrum, that is to scatter or to bring out the 7 colors of the white light, and that's it. So this one arrests the light. The first converging lens arrests the light. The prism separates the light into 7 colors, and the last converging lens arrests the light again, and you have a pure light. You have pure spectrum, that is red to violet, pure 7 colors here, and that's what you need for that purity. So you need triangular prism with 2 convex or converging lenses, and that's the answer. Now, a short chain is sometimes attached to the back of a tanker to what? Why do we have chain behind a tanker? Now, this is the question. Now, is it to cause excess charge to the earth, ensure the back of the tanker, caution the driver when overspeeding, or generate more friction? Now, the answer is very simple. Now, this is my tanker here. It's going. But as the tanker is going, notice one thing. It is tearing through the air. As the tanker is running with speed, it is passing through the air. You know, there's friction. There's friction between the tanker and the air. That means what I'm saying is that when you are moving with high speed, you are bursting through the air. You are bursting through the air, and that's why if you are on a bike, you always squeeze your eyes because the air is coming in contact with your eyes. Some people prefer to put on eyeglass because of the friction between the air. You are tearing through the air, and that journey of running through the air produce collision, and that collision produces charge. Okay, so that means as the air is clashing with the tanker, it is charging the tanker. I mean, it is producing current. You know, friction leads to production of charge. Okay, so that's it. Works this way. So as the air is colliding with the tanker, it's producing current on the tanker. Okay, but as that means the tanker is getting charged with frequent collision with the air, and that can be dangerous because especially if the tanker is carrying something that is very, very flammable, like if it is carrying petroleum, if it's carrying something like diesel. See, so it has to, so as it is colliding with the air, it has to make a way to remove those charges from the body of the car, and that is why we have the chain. So the chain helps to conduct the charge from the body of the car to the ground. You know, charges are lost when it comes in contact with the earth. The earth is a charge taker. So if something is charged and you make it to touch the earth, it will lose its charge to the earth because earth or ground absorb charge from bodies. So now the tanker is charged by the air collision, but the chain help to conduct the charge to the ground. Now you might be wondering, but why can't the tire? The tire does not conduct because the tire is an insulator. The tire is made of rubber. The tire is not a conducting material. It's not metallic. So you need a metal that will touch the ground to conduct away the excess charge. So that is why we have the chain. The chain helps to conduct the excess charge to the road, to the ground, so that the vehicle will not be too charged. That might lead to explosion. And that is the answer to number 34. Let's check out the last one. A, conduct excess charge to the earth. Number 35, a perfect emitter or absorber of radiant energy is a white body, red body, conductor, or black body. The answer is very simple. Look at my chest. I have a white shirt, black shirt, and blue shirt, right? Now, the white shirt, the black shirt, let me be from here, absorb. Why the white shirt reflect. Physics has taught us that anything white is a heat or light reflector, and that's why it is white. No, nothing is really white. It is just that when light shines on that material, it sends away the light, and that's why it is white. But black things don't send or reflect. Okay, they take in heat, they absorb it, and that's why we have it. So black is a perfect absorber or emitter. Okay, absorb means to take in, but if it is turned in the other way around, if the heat is coming from inside, it also absorbs, and that's To us outside, it is called emission. So absorbing in or emitting out, a black body does that. And that's not the function of a white body. White body only reflects, and that's why black body absorb it, right? And that's why black body are black clothes or black shirt are best when it is cold, because they absorb it. Okay, but white clothes are best when it is hot in summer. When it is very hot, you put on white or bright clothes so that it can reflect away it and you'll be cool. But if you put on black clothes in summer when it is hot, you'll be very hot, because black clothes enjoys or takes in heat. So it will add to your heat and you'll be so bad, you'll be so miserable. So it is best to put on bright colored clothes because they reflect away heat. Okay, and then black clothes absorb it, and it is best for when it is cold. And that is the answer. So black body help to absorb or emit heat, and that is the answer for number 35. And that brings us to the end of this video. Don't forget, if you learned something from this series, click on like button. We have more content to send to you that will better help you understand physics. Until we see you next time, guys, take care of yourself and bye for now.